If you've ever had therapy, you've probably heard someone say something to the effect of, "You need to regulate your nervous system." What is your nervous system exactly? And what do you mean by regulate it? Think of your nervous system as your communication center. And there's two-way communication. It's both receiving information from stimuli and it's interpreting that information, and it's also responding to that information as well as giving information. Now we've got two parts to the nervous system. We've got the central nervous system, which is our brain and our spinal cord, and the second part is our peripheral nervous system, which is everything coming off of that spinal cord. So if you think about your limbs, your skin, your muscles, your organs, it's all important in therapy and in life. But when you hear therapists in particular speak about regulating your nervous system, there are some very specific parts that they're probably referring to. That second part of the nervous system, the peripheral nervous system, also has subdivisions. One part being the autonomic nervous system. That's responsible for your automatic body functions, like your organs, your heart beating the way it does, your lungs breathing the way they do. And the main subdivision of your autonomic nervous system are your sympathetic nervous system and your parasympathetic nervous system. When you hear people speak about your fight or flight response, they're speaking about your sympathetic nervous system. This is engaged when you're mobilizing, for example, to respond to threat. If you're speaking about rest and digest, which is another state, that's your parasympathetic nervous system. Now, if you got past that word salad, now does it make sense why therapists ask you, where do you feel that in your body? But still, the question remains, what does it mean to regulate your nervous system? A misunderstanding in the therapy world is that regulating your nervous system means to be in the calm. That would make me the perfect example of a whole human being, because I'm generally quite a calm person. I am what they call parasympathetic dominant, meaning more often than not, my parasympathetic nervous system is taking over. I'm quite relaxed, I'm laid back. I don't really let things get to me too much, most of the time. But, and this is a big but, I struggle to switch gears when something requires for me to be switched on and in the moment and aggressive and direct and immediately responsive. That's another form of being dysregulated. Just because I'm calm doesn't mean my nervous system is regulated. If you're aggressive in the appropriate moment, you are actually regulating your nervous system quite well. So going back to a Jason Wilson quote, which I referenced in one of the last videos, where he said, "I am whoever I need to be in any given moment," that is a regulated nervous system. Regulating your nervous system means being aware of yourself in your current circumstances and being able to move out of an unhelpful state into a state that's most useful to you in your current situation. It's being able to shift into the most helpful state for you in that moment. And of course, that is where therapy comes in. This is massively important with regards to our relationship with food and our relationship with intimacy. If you want to learn more about regulating your nervous system, give us a shout. And with regards to being who you need to be, I've written a book called Good Magic, Become Somebody You're Proud Of, which is available on Amazon. Check it out. Perch.
Stay tuned, folks.